Hey everyone, Cynthia here with the Nameless Homestead, and today we're talking about a very important subject. Today, I'm going to be going over with all of you everything I have in my 2021 kidding kit. Although unfortunately our goat Piper had an early miscarriage, both Penny and Paige are getting bigger and bigger by the day. They're starting to develop their udders, and if you look closely and you're very patient, you can even see some fetal movement. Kidding season can be very anxiety-inducing for me and for many other homesteaders because so much can go wrong. But so much of what can go wrong can be taken care of by us or even prevented altogether if we have the necessary tools and skills to help in situations that might present during kidding. So for me, developing a comprehensive kidding kit and brushing up on those skills before each season helps me to reduce my anxiety and stress and feel better prepared to take care of our girls. So today I would like to unbox my kidding kit with all of you, show you guys all the tools that I have, why I have them, and make sure that you all have the information and resources that you need in order to take care of your goats during their birthing process. Now let's move the camera and go through each one of these items one by one. This is my kidding kit. My darling husband let me poach one of his toolboxes a while ago to put everything I need in my kidding kit, which is decidedly different than my goat emergency medicine kit which is for general emergency medicine, that I'll put a link to up here because that's another very important box to have on hand. The first couple items I have in my kidding kit you might not think that you would need. You might be a little bit unexpected, but they're incredibly valuable. One of the most important things that you can do is warm those kids up fast. So arguably one of my most valuable items and the most frequently used item that I have in my kidding kit is this little collapsible hair dryer. This hair dryer, if you have electricity in your barn, is invaluable because a warm, dry, comfortable kid is the first thing that you want to achieve after birth. To further that process, I also keep in my kit old cloth diapers and pee pads. These old cloth diapers have an incredible amount of absorbency. They work a lot better than just your regular towels or hand rags because of it. They have a lot of thick layers of quick absorbing material so that you can rub a baby goat down and soak up all the moisture in their fur, which within combination of a hair dryer will make the process of cleaning a kid a lot faster. The pee pads come in handy because once the amniotic sac breaks, there's a big gush of fluid and all sorts of mess. Just lay one of these bad boys out. They're huge, they're inexpensive, they're washable, so you don't have to buy them again. You can just reuse them and reuse them. So very, very versatile item that I absolutely love, use all over my homestead. With all of these three tools together, you have a warm, clean, dry kid in no time flat. On to our next item. This is another very important item in case the worst happens and you lose the mama for whatever reason. Colostrum. Colostrum is a very, very important thing to have on hand. Kids that do not get colostrum within the first 24 hours of birth are a lot less likely to have good, healthy outcomes themselves. The most ideal situation, obviously, is that they get colostrum from their mom. Even if their mom or their dam dies in birth, you can hand express colostrum after the doe is passed. I know that that is morbid and horrific, but first and best, living colostrum from a living mama. Second best, colostrum from a mother who has just passed, that has been expressed and bottle fed. And then third best is powdered colostrum in case you do not have access to the previous two. So this is definitely a product to have in your kidding kit. I've never had to use it, thank God. I hope I never do, but this is one of those moments where a lot of these items in this box are things you hope you never have to use, but you're gonna be really glad you have on hand in case you ever do. Which of course is a great segue to bottles. The bottles that you choose should have a nice long nipple. Trying to use a human baby bottle can sometimes work, especially in the really small breeds of goats like your Nigerians or your pygmies, but for most kids, they need a nipple longer than that. So whichever kind you buy, try to get a longer nipple and make sure that you get extra nipples because kids are often born with teeth at birth or very, very shortly after they'll come out anyway. They like to chew the nipple tips off. Oh boy, howdy, does it suck to have one all of a sudden spraying a lake at 10 o'clock at night when you have a bottle baby that's hungry. Another one for the babies, when you're talking about feeding and bottle feeding, is some sort of sling to use to weigh the kids. If you have a bottle baby or if you have high order multiples, weighing your kids is the way to find out whether or not they're getting enough nutrition so that you can rest assured that mama is doing a good job feeding them and everyone is growing and healthy and strong. Baby just sits right here, and then you can weigh them with something like another item in my kit, a fish scale, which this is usually mounted in my milking parlor because it's very difficult to hold this and have a wiggly kid in there. So this is generally, see, just like that. This is generally suspended from the rafters in my barn in my milking parlor area with a bit of baling twine, and you set the kids in there. And then of course, just like a scale at the grocery store when you're weighing your fruit, you can weigh your kids. Another fantastic item to have on hand, a very necessary item, is iodine spray. Now this is an old bottle that I need to replace. It's almost empty, so the label is off, but again, we'll link to everything in the description box below. This is iodine wound spray, and you need to dip your kids' cords either in just pure iodine. Some people will use a little Dixie cup just to dip the cords in there, or I prefer the spray method. I find it just to be a little easier to have a spray bottle, and you spray the cord stump area because navel infections can be really rough on newborn kids. They don't have a great immune system yet. We definitely don't want brand new babies getting sick. The first step in triaging any emergency with baby animals, or any animal for that matter, is to get their temperature. For example, if you have a kid that is below 100 degrees Fahrenheit, that kid cannot digest its milk. You want to get a kid up and over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and I will put the Celsius equivalent somewhere on the screen, since, I'm sorry guys, I'm an American pleb, I have no idea what Celsius is. But if you are in an emergency situation, you have a cold kid, they can't digest milk at below 100 degrees, it's more important to get a kid warm than it is to get a kid fed. First, get a kid up to temperature. Hair dryers are fantastic for that. Then after that point is when you get them a full warm tummy full of milk. Which segues nicely over to drench guns. I'm missing the little tip of mine. I need to reorder that or find it. So this is another good reason that I'm going through my kitting kit, so I can see which items I'm low on and need to reorder, or if I've misplaced the drench gun tip. But it has a little L-shaped tip to it normally, and you can put that in an animal's mouth to drench in, plunger in medicine, or if a kid is too weak to take a bottle, you can use these to get them some nutrition if they need it. All sorts of things. It makes it a lot easier to get medicine into a goat when you can shove the drench gun into the back of their mouth and plunger it, and you don't have to worry about getting your fingers bit or them crunching down on something like a normal plastic syringe and swallowing pieces of syringe. I've seen that happen to people before. So drench guns are important. Drench guns are very important for giving medications and things like calcium drench. Calcium drench is used for the dam or the mama goat. It is used to prevent things like milk fever, which is caused by low calcium, and it can also help to improve the strength of contractions. If you are finding that your goat is having a difficult birth and does not seem to be producing strong contractions and you need to get a kid out quickly, you can drench them with calcium in order to strengthen the contractions and hopefully get kids out a little smoother. However, if you're gonna use this calcium drench, do keep in mind this stings like the dickens going down. You're gonna want to dilute it, ideally with something like molasses water. You can just add a few ounces of water and a spoonful of molasses and mix it in with your dose of calcium drench, and that makes it go down a lot easier. You can use granulated molasses, or I just use the liquid blackstrap molasses you can get anywhere, any grocery store. This can be very helpful to add to a bucket of warm water while your mama goat is in labor, so she can get a little bit of sugar or calorie boost while she's going through that long marathon of giving birth. Another important item to have on hand, and one item I will also be reordering, is a stethoscope. Do not get this junky little stethoscope that you find at a lot of farm and feed stores. One of my best friends is an ICU nurse, and she, when she saw that I spent almost $40 on this sucker, she laughed. This is literally apparently the same type of stethoscope that they use in situations where a person is under quarantine that is like a use once and throw away. I will be ordering a new stethoscope that I ran by my best friend and has been approved by her as a quality one to purchase. This guy is useless, so get a good, reputable stethoscope. Don't try to go cheap on them. One of the newer items to my kitting kit that I have not had to use yet, and I hope I never need to do, is a kid puller. This is an OB strap. They have many different designs of OB strap. Don't mind the bend. It was hard to fit in my kitting kit, but that pops back out again. If you end up with a stuck kid for whatever reason that you cannot pull out, because it can be quite difficult. Things are often slimy, it's difficult to grip, it tends to be kind of a mess. I've been in a situation before where I had to drive super fast down to a friend's homestead to help her with a stuck kid, and man, do I wish I would have had one of these, because going in by hand is quite difficult. Essentially what you do with this is you put this end inside mama goat, and you can snare the baby goat by hoof or head or whatever you can get a hold of. And then on the other end, you pull and you grab a hold of the kid, and then you have a much easier time pulling. So this is one of those things that can save a mama or a baby. Another wonderful thing, especially for mama goats, is an electrolyte mix. This serves a different purpose than molasses. This is to balance electrolytes. It doesn't really give nutrition or a lot of sugar to the bloodstream, but if you have a goat that's been in labor for a long time, this is a great mix that balances their electrolytes and can really help bolster strength, especially if they're dehydrated. Something that is great you can do for your goats, because they are ruminant animals, and when their digestive system goes sideways or has been traumatized, they really do need probiotics. A simple probiotic paste can go a long way to a healthy, happy goat. And then my last supplement in my box, this is selenium and vitamin E gel. A lot of places have selenium deficient soil. You can find out whether or not you are in a selenium deficient area by contacting your local agricultural department, and I'll see if I can provide any links in the description box below so you can check whether or not your land is within a region that tends towards being selenium deficient. Selenium deficiency can look like weak kids that have these seemingly floppy ankles and joints and limbs where they can't quite stand up and their legs tend to go out in all different directions. I'll see if I can add some pictures or video clips here to show you a better example of what I'm talking about. That is selenium deficiency. And how you can combat that is by giving something like selenium gel, or if you have a really good goat vet in your area, you can ask for a prescription of BOSE. That's BOSE. And that is an injectable form of selenium that is a lot more powerful than the paste. In most cases can be resolved with simply a few doses of paste for a few days. Aside from the physical items I need in my kitting kit to help prepare me for kitting season, I also need to brush up on my skills for kitting. Skills like optimal fetal positioning. How long should a labor go on for? What are the signs of impending labor? All of these skills and all of this knowledge is very important to research. I'm not going to include that here in this video just because it is such a big topic. I feel like it deserves its own video. I'm always looking for inspiration on new topics to explore with all of you, so if it is something that you would like to hear more on, please comment down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and hit the notification bell so that you guys can be notified the next time we upload. See you all next Sunday.